911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, hi, this is gonna sound strange, but there's a man stumbling around in circles in my front yard.
Could you repeat that, sir?
He looks sick, lost, or drunk or something. I just woke up to get a glass of water, and I heard snow crunching around underneath my front window. So I peeked out. I'm looking at him now. He's just 10 yards away from my window. Something's not right with him.
What's your address, sir?
1617 Old Quarry Lane.
Okay, I'm going to send a squad car your way, but that's quite a ways out. Are you alone in your house, sir?
Yeah, I'm alone.
Can you confirm that all of your doors and windows are locked? Stay on the phone with me.
I know that my front door is definitely locked, but I'll have to go check my back door again, real quick. I appreciate your help, by the way. I know this is kind of strange, but I really hope that...
Sir? Are you still there?
Yeah, he's still in the yard, but he's... What the fuck? He's upside down.
Sir? Stay on with me. What's happening?
He's staring right at me, but he's standing on his hands right now. He's perfectly still, just staring right at me. He's doing a handstand, and he's just smiling at me, not moving.
He's doing a handstand, sir?
I don't know. He's just smiling at me, and he's on his hands, standing on his hands. And he's got this huge smile, and he's perfectly still. Just what the fuck? Just get someone here now.
Sir, I need you to remain calm. I've put out the call and an officer's on his way.
His teeth are so huge. What the fuck? Just help me.
Sir, I want you to try and keep an eye on him, but make sure that your back door is locked again. We need to make sure all possible access points are secured. Can you talk me through and confirm that your back door is locked?
Okay, I'm gonna walk backwards now. I'm keeping him in my sight. I'm gonna check the back door. My hand's on the doorknob. It's locked. I need to check the deadbolt, but I'm gonna have to just keep my eyes off him for just a split second.
Alright, sir. Help is on the way. Just stay on the phone with me. Everything's gonna be alright. Sir? Sir, are you still there?
His face, it's just pressed up against the glass.
Sir, I need you to speak up. What's happening?
I looked away for a split second, now his face, it's pressed up against the glass right in front of the window. His teeth, they're so huge, he's just fucking smiling. There's no color in his eyes. Jesus, please help me.
Sir, I need you to go to the nearest room and lock yourself inside of it. Do you have a basement or a bedroom that you can lock yourself in?
He won't stop staring. He's gonna hurt me.
Sir, I need you to listen to me. Lock yourself somewhere safe until the officer arrives at your house. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna go lock myself in my room.
And you're positive that you're alone in your house, correct?
Yeah, I'm alone in the house. Wait, he's moving. He's shaking his head. He's telling me no. He can hear us. He's telling me I'm not alone.
Sir, are you still there? I heard a loud noise. Is everything alright? Sir?
Welcome back, strangers. I was a maintenance worker at a camping resort in the Appalachian Mountains for several years. It was more like a rich camping resort with luxury cabins that had been renovated, but the place still had an old and rustic feel to it. It was miles away from civilization and was super peaceful, especially during the down season. The resort was originally built during the Roaring Twenties at the height of Prohibition. The Appalachian Mountains are infamous for moonshining operations, and I'm pretty sure this resort was the center of it all back in the day. There's a locked safe room hidden underground where they used to store moonshine, as well as secret passages underneath some of the oldest cabins that were also used to store the illegal liquor. In its heyday, the resort was visited by numerous members of high society that came to party with the forbidden spirits hidden underneath the resort. One night, towards the end of spring, before our busy season began, I was starting to become close with the new tourist manager of the resort. Her name was Kate, and that night she wanted us to sleep outside under the stars, but it began raining. I suggested that we go to sleep in the screened porch of one of the old cabins that hadn't been renovated yet. I thought it would be a pretty good compromise, and we could fall asleep to the sound of the rain falling. Hey, who says romance is dead? After we got everything set up and did the old in and out, it was sometime past 2 a.m. She fell asleep in my arms instantly, and I laid there, unable to fall asleep. I was worried I was going to disturb her, because I usually toss and turn when I have a hard time going to sleep. I figured we'd been laying there for over an hour when I heard what sounded like a door inside the empty cabin open and close. It was either the bedroom or bathroom. Both of the old doors squeaked really loud and struggled to open and shut. I knew they had to be oiled or replaced when we renovated that cabin. My first thought was that it was our boss, the resort owner's son. He's super nosy and has been trying to get in the new girl's pants ever since he hired her. He's also very demanding and entitled. I wouldn't put it past him to fire me if he knew the two of us were seeing each other. Yet, I didn't know why he would be sneaking around the resort at night, or how he would know that we were there. It was a pretty good-sized resort. I proceeded to hear footsteps coming from inside the cabin, moving towards the door to the screened-in porch. I laid there as still as I could, waiting for the door to open and have my boss lose his short temper when he discovered us. I prayed that he would walk away and not find us, but nothing happened. There were no receding footsteps and no more door noises. I stayed up the whole night and didn't hear another noise come from the cabin. There was nothing there except for me, Kate, and the empty cabin. The next morning, Kate rolled over and immediately asked me about the footsteps she heard the night before. Apparently, they had woken her up, and she had also stayed up all night trying to figure out where they were coming from and who they belonged to. She was terrified and would never go back to that cabin again. Unfortunately, I had to go back to the cabin nightly. Part of my job was having to make sure that all the lights were off and everything was shut down in the empty cabins at night. My boss liked to turn on the lights to the empty cabins to give the appearance like the resort had more guests than it actually did. Every night I went to the cabin after that, I always felt a sense of dread as I walked towards the cabin. I think it's because I never figured out what was in the cabin that night. The cabin was never renovated during the 4 years I worked at the resort. There was always some excuse that the project manager had for delaying the renovation of that cabin. I didn't mind, but I hated going to the cabin at night. Inside the living room of the cabin, there was a huge 175-pound swinging bed on chains that could be lifted up or down to make space for my guests staying at the cabin back in the day. Every night I went to the cabin after we heard the footsteps, I would open the front door of the cabin and find that bed swinging on its own, like someone or something had just gotten out of bed before I got there. What do you think was roaming that cabin during the night? Let us know in the comments below.
One day in the summer, before my senior year of high school, my friends and I had nothing to do, so we decided to go out for a drive in the country and find a place to spend the day hiking and smoking. We ended up in a state park and found some cool trails to follow. We hiked for about an hour before realizing we were no longer on the trail. Somehow we ended up in the middle of thick woods. I hadn't been paying attention exactly where we were going. I was just there for the fun and fellowship. We started walking towards a huge hill and found a path that opened up to a large grass field. The area was creepy, it was quiet, and there was a low mist over the field. The whole sky was a dark gray, yet the weather was really nice before we entered the woods. My friends seemed fine, and I wasn't nervous. I was having a good time. I just couldn't figure out how we ended up so far off the trail. So I decided to take the lead as we began making our way across the field. We were all joking about the situation when I noticed something in the corner of my eye. To my left, there appeared to be a tall figure standing next to a large tree. It looked like a shadow, but I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. I assumed it was my mind playing tricks on me, yet I couldn't stop glancing at the strange shadow after each step. I wasn't scared, but something about the shadowy figure didn't seem natural. Suddenly, my friends got quiet. I wasn't sure if they saw it or not, but as we moved closer, it looked like it was a person leaned against a tree smoking. I had no idea what someone would be doing this far off the trail, and by the time we reached the end of the field, this mysterious person looked like they were surrounded by smoke. I started to freak out thinking I was watching someone or something on fire. For some reason, my first instinct was to take out my phone and try to take a picture of what was happening. I have no idea what urged me to do that. Something inside me just screamed that what I was witnessing was something not natural. When I pointed my phone in the direction of the smoke, it instantly disappeared and reappeared 50 yards to my right. It was like it had teleported right in front of me. I heard my friends gasp behind me, and I started to feel like I was having a panic attack. My heart began beating out of my chest, my palms and feet got all sweaty. It was like my whole body was reacting to witnessing something that defied the laws of reality. All I could do was stand there, motionless, trapped inside my own head. My friend managed to get out his phone and take a picture of it before it teleported again. This time it didn't reappear around us. It had vanished, but we didn't move. We just stood there in silence for what felt like an eternity. Finally, my friend behind me just whispered, "What the fuck?" We all sighed in relief and discussed what happened. Everyone described seeing and feeling the same thing. My friend's phone had gone black when he tried taking a picture of the smoke creature, and he couldn't get his phone to turn back on. After the encounter, we slowly tried to retrace our steps. Our short afternoon hike had turned into an 8-hour trip back to the car. I have no idea how we got so lost. Fortunately, we made it back right before sunset. I'm so glad I didn't have to spend the night wandering the woods, knowing that thing was somewhere out there. The next day, my friends and I hung out at my house. We still couldn't fully comprehend what happened to us. I still don't even know if I believe what I saw that day. Did we really witness a teleporting smoke creature? Or was it just lights and shadows in the woods playing tricks on us? We had been smoking weed throughout the day. I've never experienced anything like that before, whether I was high or sober. My friend's phone finally came back on after he charged it. However, the last photo he took was blacked out. You couldn't make out anything in the photo of the creature, so we have no proof it happened, but we all did experience something strange together.
Strange things happen to me at night. My husband and I live in your average one-story ranch house in a safe suburban neighborhood. Our home has 2 main entrances, the front door and then a door at the back of the house that opens to our fenced-in backyard. When we are too busy or it's too late to walk our dog, we open our back door and let our little Pomeranian run free in the backyard. She loves it and it lets her get her exercise even when we don't have time to walk her. One night around midnight, I was home alone with my dog when I decided to let her run outside before bed. I took her to the back door and let her loose in our backyard just like any other night. I close the door and lock it and start to gather up laundry before going back and checking on her. This was pretty routine. Even if she used the bathroom quickly, she liked to play in the backyard for a few minutes before coming back inside for bed. As I'm getting the last of the clothes up, I hear a scratch on the door, which is how she signals she's ready to come back inside. I head to the back door to let her back in. Since I've watched way too many scary movies, I always look out the window just to make sure it's safe before I open the door. Instead of seeing my little puppy, I see a man in what looked like a dog costume, down on all fours, intently staring up at the door handle like a dog. I don't know if he saw me, so I just froze there. I'm not sure how much time went by, but I heard another scratch at the door, this one louder than the last. This wakes me up, and all of a sudden, I have the craziest adrenaline rush. I run to grab my cell phone and called my husband to tell him what's happening. He was very confused. I probably wasn't explaining the situation very well, but he tells me to calm down, that he's in his car and will be home soon. This is when I realize my dog is still outside with the stranger. I sneak up to the back door, trying to make as little noise as possible to check whether he is still there. Just like before, he's still on all fours, head cocked up at the doorknob. It's almost like he hadn't moved since I first saw him. I tiptoe over to the front door and slowly open the door as quietly as possible. I don't see my dog anywhere, and the side of the house is covered in gravel. I knew I couldn't sneak around the other side of the house without the stranger hearing me. With my heart still pounding in my chest, I try to look around the corner of the house to get a better look at the man. I considered running back inside and calling the police, but I didn't think they would take me serious. All the man was doing was standing on all fours in front of my house in a costume. I tried taking a picture of him with my cell phone, but all of a sudden, the man turns and looks directly at me. He glares at me, then opens his mouth to show this taunting, malicious grin. He stood there that way for a few seconds, before turning around and awkwardly running on all fours into my backyard. It was dark, but I heard him jump our fence and run to the woods behind our house. I stay in the same place, almost expecting him to rush back and attack me. Luckily, my husband arrived home a few minutes later. He convinced me to call the police, and we went out looking for our dog. We found her shaking in the backyard. The man must have frightened her, but I never heard her bark that night, and she will yip at anything. It's been 3 years since this happened, and the police weren't able to come up with any suspects. We never found out what the man in dog costume wanted, but I can't help to think it was something sinister. However, stranger things have happened to me. Ever since then, we take our dog on very long walks before the sun goes down. I suggest you do the same. And as always, stay strange.